as well. So we are recording. If you haven't checked in on the PD system, please do that. We will have a door prize drawing at the end. You do have to be present to win. So make sure you sign in and check in with remote check-in code PSJA Tech, all lowercase.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Debbie. I really appreciate it. And as Debbie had mentioned earlier, my name is Marco. Debbie and Valentine are for this year assisting more in the elementary side of our educational technology, and I'll be doing a little bit more of the middle school. But we're always here to help. So whether you have a question, even if you're like, oh man, or if I'm busy or it looks like Valentine's busy on Teams, shoot Debbie a message. We all respond to everybody, even though I know we're a little bit mixed in grade levels. But if you really need help or you have a question, we are more than happy to help out. So let's get started. We are going to do Cami today, and I'll explain a little bit about what Cami is and a little bit about what Cami is and how it could be beneficial for teaching and learning. All right. So I have a slideshow that I'm going to kind of go in between every so often. So let me kind of start from the beginning. So we are your integration specialists here. It's me, Debbie, and Valentine. So the first thing that you might be wondering is, what is Cami? And the thing about Cami is it's a great online annotation tool. So I know we have things in the district like Doc Hub, and I know we had Adobe Acrobat DC. And the thing about those two PDF readers or annotation tools is that with Doc Hub, when I was a teacher at Bears, sometimes if you were trying to uh, upload a PDF through Doc Hub, it comes out kind of messed up a little bit, and the tools aren't nearly as robust as what Cami offers. And then Adobe Acrobat DC is a really good tool, but it's kind of more of a professional, more of like an organizational tool, and it might be a little bit daunting for teachers and students. So I'm going to show you Cami and a little bit more how it's more. It's a little easier on the eyes for teachers and students. It has a lot of great tools that I believe everybody will benefit from. So right here we have free versus paid version, but what I did was I included, this is in text. So we do at the moment have the paid version, and I won't go too far into it, but when you look at the paid versus free, right now, right now based on our usage as a district, right now we have the paid version, but if the usage is there and teachers are using it and students are using it, we might be able to convince the district to have this program and maybe go along for an extended amount of time. But if we don't pick it up, they do have a free version, and they do include some of the tools, but not all of the tools. And let me this is a graphic that kind of goes over it. So first and foremost, whether you have free or paid, you're going to have the basic annotation tools for PDF documents. And what I mean by basic is you're going to have text box, you're going to have text comments, and you can insert shapes. Um, the things really that you're missing out on when you have a free version compared to the paid is you're missing a little bit of media that you can upload. So we're not going to be able to insert images. We can't do signatures like you could on Adobe Acrobat DC. The voice and video comments, like I said, you lose a lot of media when you're just doing paid in comparison to the teacher plan. They don't have an equation editor, which I'm going to show you what that tool is a little bit later. They have a, you can add pages if you want to add on to the assignment. And again, that's a tool that I'm going to show you what that does a little bit later. Another big reason why we hope that the district can keep this is because it implements with our Google Classroom. So if we have the basic plan, it doesn't it doesn't it doesn't work as seamless with Google Classroom. And so that's something that we really like. And then a couple other things. This at the bottom, this really goes for our EL learners and our dyslexic learners. So again, in comparison, the basic compared to the teacher, you're losing out on the dictionary, a tool I'm going to show you in a bit, the read aloud tool, and the speech to text tool. Again, these are awesome tools for students who are ELs and also students who are your DELPA students. And then last but not least, the one thing you missed out on, this is the last slide, when you're comparing the two, is a split and merge document. I'm going to go over that tool in just a bit. And it's a really, really good tool. So you're going to see me kind of going in and out between this PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to show you live right now what all of this looks like. Right here, what we're looking at is basically on the left-hand side, we're looking at how to create it. What we're going to do today is create a Google Classroom assignment. Then afterward, I'm going to actually include a Kami PDF from the library. They have a lot of cool stuff that you can get right on the fly. You don't have to create it yourself, so it's pretty cool. And then there's tutorials as well, but I don't think we're going to get into that. So let me get out of this really quick. And so the first thing you want to do, and I'm going to copy and paste the link here in the chat. I'll put it right here. I sent everybody a Kami app link. So if y'all click on it, this is where it's going to take you. I'm not going to go over the extension today. I'm just going to go over the regular website and what it's going to look like. If you haven't been on a Kami app and you haven't signed in, it's going to ask you a few questions. It's not going to ask me these questions because I already did it. So what we end up doing is get on the website and then we're going to click sign in. Now, it already has everything set up. But if you haven't gone on the app before, it's going to ask, what is your role in the district? It's going to ask, are you a teacher? Is this for work? Are you a student? And so on and so forth. So there's only like 4 questions, I believe, like 4 or 5 questions. So once you kind of put that information out there that you're a teacher, that you're using this for work, then you'll see what I see. So you can feel free to do it now. If not, just pay attention to the screen and then you can always go back and do that stuff later. So what we're going to end up doing first is we're going to actually create an assignment for Google Classroom, which I believe is what I was going to do. So check it out.
Marco, are you still in Google Classroom or are you showing Kami? Because we see Google Classroom right now.
Oh, is it? Ooh, I put the wrong slide. I'm so sorry. So I put the wrong screen. My bad on that one. My bad on that one, guys. So, sorry. So I sent the link to Kami, and if you answer the questions, then you're going to go ahead and see this screen about what your job title is. And I already did it, so I'm right here. This is the landing page. But if you haven't, you're just going to go ahead and end up answering the questions, and eventually you'll see this. So what we're going to do first is create a Google Classroom assignment. So in order to do that, you just click right here. And you're going to notice that really quickly, it's going to look just like Google Classroom, right? So anybody who's been in Google Classroom or has created an assignment, this is pretty much exactly what it looks like. There's really nothing that would throw anybody off. So what we're going to do today is actually create an assignment and see what it looks like. So the one I'm going to do today is talking about student debt and student loans, student debts and student loans. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and pick a class. So I have a few classes here. So I'm just going to pick one of my test classes. It'll, just like Google Classroom, it'll ask which class is this for, how many points is it, when's the due date. So I'm going to pick, I'll pick tomorrow and I'll do it at 11 o'clock. And then it asks, just like in regular Google Classroom, what topic do you want this under? And you can just put, I have a test topic. So it's going to ask, where do I want to get the assignments? The cool thing about Kami is whether you get it from your drive, whether you get a file from your computer, upload a document from your computer, or even you can even add a link. What's cool about it is it doesn't matter where you grab the PDF to, it all works the same. So I think what a lot of teachers do is, like, say for example, you go on Sharon Wells and you'll download a Sharon Wells PDF, or what a lot of teachers do is, like, they'll go on Teachers Pay Teachers, they'll download a PDF and then they'll download it to the computer. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have one that's downloaded into my computer, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this student loans and debt. So it has already make a copy for each student. And if y'all have used Google Classroom, that's the actual recommendation on it. That means that this file is a copy for each student. And it doesn't, the way it works is like, you don't have to worry about students all editing the same file. Each student has their own particular copy for this file. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then what I'm going to do is actually show you, you know what, I want to add something from the Kami library. So if you click Kami library, it's going to show you the library of templates that they have available. And the cool thing about it is, like, if you've used, let's see, it's Nearpod, it's very similar in the structure where it says, like, what subject do you want to look for? What type of activity do you want to look for? And then what grade level do you want to look for? So let's say that I wanted to do a social studies subject, and that I wanted to do, let's see, we can do a graphic organizer, and that I want it to be for 11th grade. So one of the ones that comes out here is a Freyer model, and we're all fairly familiar with the Freyer model. This one you can click on it and it'll say, like, download for free, open with Kami. So the cool thing about it is, if you haven't done the Freyer model, of course, you can put like a word in the middle, then you can do like the word in a sentence, a definition, a drawing, and so on and so forth. So the cool thing that I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to download this Freyer model and I'm going to add it to my activity that you're going to see in just a bit. So now that I downloaded it, what I'm going to end up doing is going back to my um, assignment. I believe it should be right here. We'll go down here to the Freyer model. So now you see that I have two assignments. I have student loans and debt, and I have a Freyer model. So what I'm going to put on here for the directions is read the articles in student loans and debt, then create a Freyer model. So I put on there, what they're going to end up doing is they're going to read the student loans and debt, and they're going to go through it and answer the questions. And then with the Freyer model that you guys just saw, they're going to use one of the vocabulary words on there, right? So let's go on. What you're going to see real quickly, and I have this in the PowerPoint presentation, is once you assign it, it's going to take you to Google Classroom automatically. So this is on the slideshow. So it says, hey, your assignment's been created. Do you want to go look at it? You can click on it and it'll go straight to your Google Classroom. So this is what it looks like in the classroom. I have Debbie and Valentine as students in my test class that I'm gonna let's see, that you can see here. So let's see. So what happened is it went under my test topic right here. So this is student debts and loans. So now that the assignment is here, what you want to do, there's a few ways to open the assignments. I think what most teachers and students are going to do is click on either one of these, and you'll see a screen here, and usually it'll say open with like Google Docs or Doc Hub if you haven't done Kami yet. So what you can do now is annotate with Kami. So now that we have an assignment, what I'm going to end up doing is kind of go over some of the tools that you guys are going to see. So what I'm going to do is go over these tools right here. I did a real brief presentation on the Google Slides that you all can check here. It's just a brief explanation about what each one of these do, but I'm going to actually show you what these actually do. So kind of going from the left-hand side here, they just have a regular select tool. The select tool, you can do a few things. If you double click a word, you can copy the word, you can search the word. So check it out. If you're going to search the word, it'll search up investing online. It'll do a Google search, it'll do an image search, and it'll do a video search. So that's pretty neat. The select tool also has a grab function. So if you can grab the pages and go up and down to navigate your way around the homework or the assignment. The select annotations, I haven't messed around with that one as much. That one I tried to use, but it's a little difficult. So I just went over these two. I'm not going to be able to go over all of them, but These are the select tools. The one that's really cool too is they have a dictionary tool. So you can select literally any word in the PDF, and then it'll tell you what it is in a dictionary. So right here, we're going to look up loan. So now it does have loan, and it has a definition here. A thing that is borrowed, especially a sum of money that is expected to be paid back with interest. So it's a really cool tool because I know that this is something that they have in I think in the STAR exam, for the online STAR exam, and then also it's a good tool for students who are ELs, right? So it's a great tool for checking out the definitions of words, right? Another one that's good too is the read aloud tool. So what you can do, and I don't think it's going to say the audio because of, I guess, the way it's set up here for this meeting. You can select it and you can see that I put read aloud and it's going in order. You can see the words being highlighted. So you can't hear it. I don't think you can hear it, but a student will be able to hear it. And the student can do it for parts of the assignment, or they can do it for the entire assignment. So they can do the read aloud tool, and then they can loop it, they can pause it, and then they can go to the next sentence, or the previous sentence. So that's a really good tool that we have here also with Kami, is the read aloud tool. Another really good one too is there's a markup tool, which is basically a highlighter. So there's a few different types. So if you wanted to highlight something, there's a few different ways to do it. You can just highlight the sentence and it'll highlight for you. I have it on yellow. They have a freehand highlighter, so they can do it like this. If you guys have, if your kiddos, if you have second grade, I think it's what, K through 2 or pre-K through 1 or pre-K through 2 that uses iPads. If a teacher has this on the new line board and they have their iPad with the stylus, they can do like the freehand highlighter, and then they can, talk about where they're at in something that they're reading. They have a block highlighter, which is pretty cool if you're going to highlight a large area. So that's what that looks like. You need to highlight areas like that. They also have strike through. So you can go highlight a whole sentence. Actually, you know what? This is better if you're going to give like sentences, like maybe you don't want all the students to answer these questions right here. So I'm going to take out 3 of the sentences. So right there, I highlighted questions 8, 9, and 10, and it struck out all of them. So if I only wanted the students to do 11, 12, and 13, that's a pretty cool like way to tell the kiddos. Again, if you want to underline something like for points of emphasis, like there was a, like right here, this is a term that they wouldn't want to know. So you can highlight this as an area of interest. If you want to tell the kiddos, and then you can change the color as well. So there's a lot of tools that you guys can see. There's a lot of like flexibility that you can do with this. And now that you see that this photo is getting like really full with stuff, right? Like you see all these highlights, these underlines, these strike throughs, and you're like, man, it's getting kind of messy. Like, how do I get rid of it? You can just go on the eraser, and there's this erase all annotations tool. So you can just click on the areas where you did the annotations, and it'll get rid of all of them. So that's the markup tool. This is a really cool one coming up, the comment tool, because what I'm going to show you guys right now is that when we grade papers on Google Classroom, or you want to give them instructions in Kami, you can do that, and you can save the comments in a comment area, so that you don't have to keep typing or doing voice recordings of like the same comment, which is like, if you wanted to do a comment to a section of the paper that said, this part is really important, you don't have to do it over and over and over. I'm going to show you that there's a place where you can actually store all of your comments, and it's just really like, it's a really easy place where you can store them, and you save a lot of time. So let's say right here that the student, that this is a big part of the assignment. It talks about what a student loan is, right? And you're like, this is really important. So what I'm going to do is click right here, and it's going to say, what do you want to tell them? I'm going to say, pay attention to this part. So when you do it, there's this little box right here. And when you click the box, it actually says, do you want to create an annotation bank? And then when you say yes, what's going to happen is there's this little box up here called toggle sidebar. So anytime that I want to, and this is the annotation bank, anytime that I want to pay attention to this part, I can always move it to an area where I think I'm going to need it. I think it's that way. I actually haven't messed around with that one too much, but I think you can, yeah, see, like right there. So if you ever need to put advice or what to pay attention, or if you needed to put on here, pay attention to this part for the questions, you can go ahead and do that. You're saving any kind of comment. You can even do a voice comments. It won't let me do it because we're in a video, but you can put on here. Let's see, it'll say test, test, test. You can stop it. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. So you'll have instructions on there too. You can even say like, I only want you to do like the first 3 questions or the first 4, and that's the audio on there. And so again, you can always name the annotation. You can we'll put specific questions. I'll just put Q's for right now. And then it's pretty cool. Like it'll like the more annotations you do, you can keep saving them, and it saves time, over in the long run. You can even create videos. So like if you want to click a spot right here, it won't let me do it because we're doing a video right now, but it'll show just the camera of me, and it'll say like, hey, you did really good right here, great job. So you can do a video comment as well. Last but not least, you can do a screen capture video. I'm not sure if it'll let us do it, but see, you can see here, and I'll go test, 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 and then done. And then you can see that it had a screencasting video. So if I wanted to highlight or give feedback, it'll actually show the screen. And then, if you wanted to highlight something that the student was talking about, you can go to markup, highlight something. Oh, I put underline, but you can highlight something and then just say that was a really good part that you did, or you didn't pay attention to this part. So that's the good part about screen capturing. So some of those that I just went over, a lot of them, I think only the comment with the text is free, like the top one. So if you do decide if the district doesn't go ahead and stay with the paid version, we do lose out on these ones. But these are really good tools for feedback. So that was just an example of, what it is and what they're capable of doing. They have generic text box, which you guys are familiar with. So if you go down here, I can create a text box. So let me create a new one there. So you can create a text box, and then you can put, this is my answer for the question, and you can do that too. So regular text box is there. That one's pretty easy. And then they do have equations, which is mostly for math, science, and they actually have it for music as well. So you can use some, sorry about that. Oh, so let me see if I can get that on here really quick. And I'm not sure why it's not doing this. It did it earlier, but having an issue with this. It's coming out here, but see if we do load this up to 18 point. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with this one, guys. I'm not a math person or a science person. I do social studies, so I would not use this. But anybody who does math and math and science would definitely benefit from it. That one I need to mess around with a little bit more. We do have drawing tools that, it's basically you can do freestyle drawing, or you can do underlining. So that one's pretty generic. We have tools. They do have circles, shapes, triangles. We won't really get into that one, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And again, we kind of went over the eraser tool, where if you erase over any of the annotations, it'll get rid of them. And then last but not least, what you can end up doing is actually add media. So you can do like a Google search, image search. So if we put student loan, we'll have images that we can insert, and you can have, if there is something that you want to have a drawing, or you want to have them insert a video or an image, they can go ahead and do that too. So there's a lot of stuff. I won't go over all of those, but you can do an image from your computer, something from the drive, your OneDrive, and then you can even insert YouTube videos. So they do let you like insert a whole bunch of stuff on here. So it's a pretty robust program, and like I said, you could do a lot with it. And then last but not least, they do offer, I won't go into it, but you can do if you have a document where you need to have a date stamp or a timestamp, you can go ahead and do that too. So that is kind of an example of a rundown of what the annotation tools are for Kami. So really it's up to you all in terms of how you want to use it in the class. I know a lot of teachers have iPads now, so they can do a lot of annotating, which is really cool because they could put it on the Newline board and then do all of these wonderful tools on there. And then your students too, I think it's a lot better than DocHub, and in some ways it's a lot easier to mess with than on Adobe Acrobat DC. So there's a couple of other things that we can go over. So let me get back here really quick. Let me see where I am on. I think the next thing that I need to do is check out this split and merge here. I believe that is something that we could do. So check this out. I didn't really show you guys too much, but you saw that the document that I put in there was like really long, right? So I'm going to show you what it looks like, because say you found an awesome resource. It's just all these resources, like a unit resource is like within one file, right? So let's say that you're going to do a whole unit on climate, right? Well, those bundles that you get, it'll just be one huge file type. So what you can do here on split and merges, you can actually separate it. So if you have a file that has 15 pages, but you only want to give the students 3 pages a day, you can totally do that. And so let me show you what that looks like. You can actually insert more than one file. So let's say that I have 2 things that I want to give the kiddos. So right here, this is the original student loans and debt that you guys just saw. That was the assignment. But say I found something else that I also want to put in there as well. So there's going to be a few pages from student loans and debt, and then there's going to be one from something else. So if I go back to downloads, I found something else that's pretty cool, and it is student auto loans and mortgages. So right here, we have 2 different assignments, right? And let's see what happens when we click on next. You see right away that both the assignments are super long. They're like over 10 pages each, right? So the cool thing about this is, see, like this one's like 18 pages each. And you're like, well, I don't want to give all the students 18 pages. I want to do like 2 pages at a time. Cool thing that you can do with Kami is you can either choose to do, 2 at a time from one, and I'll get 2 pages from this assignment, but I want them to get also a page from, this different assignment. So you can go and then also put that there. It's really up to you. So if you want to give 3 pages at a time, and what you're going to do is just copy and paste the way that you would, like the way you want to do it. And then you can export, and it gives you some different options. So if I put on here, open in Kami, these 3 pages, I'm going to click on that. And it's going to say open with Kami. And now you see that it was just the 3 pages that I wanted out of like those 20 pages of text. Hey, does anybody have any questions or anything like that right now? Sorry, I know I was kind of going off there for a little bit, but before I go on, anybody have questions on like on Kami or what it can do or things like that?
Hey, Marco, I have a question.
Yo, what's up, Sonny?
Whenever you, I know you create the assignment on Kami and then you push the Google Classroom. For the student to be able to get it, does it automatically give them the option to open it with Google Classroom, or does the student have to do something on their device?
So it should show up. So good question. So let me go back to sharing the screen. Okay, cool. So when let me actually go to our PowerPoint here or Google slide. So what ends up happening, sorry, let me go back. So what ends up happening is, so it's going to look just like Google Classroom when you're creating the assignment, and that's what you saw me earlier. And then it goes into the open the classroom. It'll actually take you right away over there, and then it'll say, then what happens is when you put open in classroom, it'll actually show it in the Google Classroom. So right here, I had assigned it to only Debbie and Valentine. So that's the way it's gonna show up as the student. And the student has two ways of opening the assignment. And if we go to Google Classroom, they can either open it right here, which is annotate with Kami, or they can actually click this button, which says open with Kami, and that's going to open it up on the browser as well.
Okay, so it should automatically give them an option to open it with Kami.
Yeah, the one thing though, and I'll tell you, Sonny, I messed with both of them, with both options. I think, and I can get rid of this option. Maybe I went. I don't. I think I might have put it in the. Let me show you right here. I think I put it on here. Okay, so in this slide, right here where it says add links for mobile devices, I think that is the open with Kami app that you just saw. But I believe if you uncheck this, the bottom one, it's just gonna show these two. It won't show open with Kami. And honestly, to tell you the truth, Sunny, in messing with this, I found out easier for the students to annotate with Kami this way, because it does give you a different and kind of little stranger option when you open it through Kami. And I'll show it, you'll see it right now. Yeah, like right here, it comes out a little different. My recommendation, I think what I'm going to try to promote is just getting rid of that check mark that you saw right here, and just having the two assignments show up on Kami, because it got a little funky when trying to turn in the assignment. And so I think it's easiest if you just have the assignment out there, and then um, pick the have the kids pick the actual PDF, and then they're gonna click how do you want to open it, and it'll be with Kami. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Let's see here. So yeah, any other questions, guys? I'm not. Oh yeah, one thing that I wanted to show you. I don't know if it's possible, Debbie or Valentine, if you can show what it looks like, maybe on the student side, on what it looks like to turn it in.
Sure. I can share my screen if you'd like.
Cool. So I'm gonna stop presenting, and so I have
I
Debbie
turned
and
mine
Valentine.
in already, so you can see what it looks like already turned in too.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'll do that right after Debbie shows us what it looks like on her end.
So I am already in my Google Classroom. And this option, if I'm not going to click on it because the internet takes a long time. But when Marco showed you, it took it kind of to a weird screen. But when I click on this, it actually takes me to the Google Drive, and I have to select a folder, which would be the test classroom. But if I click on my assignment here and open with Kami, everything's going a little slow. Any day now. Of course, it's running even slower than it has all day. I'm going to refresh and just see if that ruins it, or let's try it again.
And if not, I'll just show Valentine's work
There
right
we
now.
go. So I'm going to open it with Cami. So this is the student side. So this is what the students will see. And I do have to do something on here. It won't let me turn it in. So we'll just draw a shape around here. Okay.
Yeah. And
I completed my assignment. Now, if you notice up here, turn it in was not up there until I did something on the assignment. So it won't let them just turn it in without touching it. Now, obviously I didn't do the work the right way, but once I do complete it, I just click turn it in up here.
yeah, and that's a good point Debbie brought out. A cool thing about Cami is the student can't just turn it in blankly. It will tell them that they haven't done any work. So that it does force them to do something. I mean, I would still, even after students turn in work, I would be kind of diligent and just check to see what they actually did do. But I think a cool feature is it just won't let the kids go turn it in without doing absolutely anything.
And it didn't like my box, so it didn't let me turn it in then. I highlighted something last time and it let me turn it in. There we go. Now the student is, if they like, oh, I made a mistake or I need to go look at it, they can unsubmit right away if needed. Otherwise, it's done.
Yeah, and then I will go back on my screen real quick, and then I'm gonna show Debbie and Valentine's work. So
I hope I got it. I hope I got an A+ for that work.
so I'm gonna refresh, but it does look like 2 students already turned it in. Going right here, I'm gonna see my 2 students, and let me see Valentine first. I think he did something, so I wanted to just show it. He highlighted a little bit, um, and then he added a photo, and then he did a little bit of squiggling. So see it, you know, you are able to see, what the students do. Of course, again, it won't let them turn in just nothing. They do have to do something. I wouldn't give an assignment like this being 15 pages. I just wanted to do this for an example and then show you how you can split and merge, assignments that are 20 pages long into 3 pages. So if you ever need help with that, again, let me know. And it's in the split and merge document. So now that we see what Valentine did, you can see if they did anything on the other assignment. They didn't. So I would have to give it back and then have him do it again. And so, you could do stuff like that. You can return it, and then just gonna have to do it sometime, you know. So let's see. And then now that we go here and we refresh, I think it should reflect that. Yeah, now I still have Debbie has turned it in, and I have Valentina's assigned. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know we went kind of fast, but those are, some of the tools that you can do in Cami. The ones that I would emphasize a lot, like I said, would probably be the ones for ELs, which is going to be your dictionary, your read aloud. Those ones are really good. They have the comments one is really good too for leaving feedback. So those are some of my top ones that if I were to tell other teachers about Cami, I would really emphasize the importance of having a dictionary, having the read aloud, using the text box feature so that the kids can comment in there, and then the comment feature for teachers so that they can leave feedback. Those are some really good tools. And like I said, if you do find content that is really really long, but it's an awesome piece of content, but it's about 10-20 pages long, you can always use the split and merge to upload the 2 documents or the 1 document. And then right here in the 3rd line, you saw that I was just picking and choosing what I wanted the students to do for the particular assignment. So I think that's what I was going to cover today. Any other questions that you all have for maybe for me? And we also left some resources here at the end. So these are really good because they're about 3 or like no longer than 4 minutes each. So if you do want to become more familiarized with the tools and how to use them, feel free to check them out. But that's what we have for you today. Any questions, guys?
And I will post that right now in this chat so everybody has the slides if they'd like those. And then if we don't have questions, we can do our door prizes. Go ahead, Marco. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. And yeah, this is the one that we did today for Cameo 101. Feel free. Thank you guys for being here. Before you go, we'll do the drawing for some prizes. But you know, let some of your teachers know, like the first month of school, we're doing a whole 101 series. So today we did Cami. Of course, there's a lot more to do in Cami, but if you think that you want more support, or you know other teachers that do, feel free to reach out to me, Debbie, Valentine, or Valentine. We also got Nearpod coming up in a week from now. A week after that, we're going to do Vocabulary 101, and then we're going to do Flipgrid for beginners. And then as the year progresses, we're going to be doing a little bit more advanced techniques. We do also have on Thursdays, which are our unmute and recharges. And if y'all are not familiar with it, what we end up doing for unmute and recharges, they're mostly most of the time they're going to be team meetings where we have 3 educators that talk about ed tech tools in their classroom, and they're saying what they're using and showing off student work to just kind of show off, you know, what's working in their classroom. So feel free to come out to those. Our next one is going to be, our first one's going to be in 2 days. It's going to have an elementary focus, and then a week after that, I am still trying to get together a secondary one that is going to be a more focused for middle and high school. So feel free to check out our flyer here, and I think that's about it, Debbie. So I'm going to stop presenting, and if you guys want to take it away, see who our lucky winners are.
Awesome. But thank you again, everybody, for attending. And just like Marco said, reach out to us if you do have questions. And let's share our claw so we can, let me see. I have never done the claw because the guys usually do it, but we're going to give it a try. I put in, we had 4 people attending, so thank you, thank you. So let's see who are lucky. We're going to do 2 drawings for a prize pack. Our lucky number 1 is Rosalva. Are you still here, Rosalva?
She's here.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm here.
Congratulations. You're our first
Thank
winner.
you.
Let's find out who our next winner is. Now, how I continue. Here we go. Number 4 is Abraham. Congratulations to Rosalva and Abraham. Thank you so much for attending.
Hey, good to see you, Abraham. I didn't see you get in here.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Glad that you were able to make it.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
So thank you. Spread the word. I know we just got the flyer out yesterday, so it was kind of short notice on this training, but we appreciate you taking your time out of your busy day to attend. And just spread the word. If there's any topics you want us to present on, let us know. If you want to present at one of our unmute and recharge sessions, let us know as well. We'd be happy to have you as a presenter. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and feel free to reach out to us if there's anything y'all need help with, technology-wise, educational technology-wise. And so we will see you at the next our next meeting.
And we'll get those prizes delivered to your campus sometime soon. Not immediate, but within the next week or so. Thanks, guys.